Okay, for 10b, we have a cosine graph. So again, the number 10 is going to ask you for the same three pieces of information. It's either going to be a sine or a cosine graph. This one is a cosine, so first we're going to start out with period. The formula, again, for this is 2 pi over b. The b is the number in front of the x. So for this problem, we're going to do 2 pi divided by 2, and we just get 1. And this 1 pi we get for that one. Okay, so it's always, again, 2 pi divided by the number in front of there. So in this case, our period is pi. Next one, amplitude, is the absolute value of the number in front of the trig function. Absolute value of negative 1/2 is going to give you a positive 1/2. Again, the formula for that is the absolute value of a that you're using there. And a is the number that comes in front of the trig function. The phase shift formula is going to be c over b. Okay, so the c is whatever number comes after the minus sign. So in this case, the c is positive. It's going to be pi over 2. So we're going to do pi over 2 divided by the number in front of the x. So pi over 2 divided by 2. Essentially, you're just taking the opposite sign of what you see here. So it was negative pi over 2 becomes positive pi over 2. When you flip and multiply that, it's going to give you pi over 4 as your phase shift. So pi over 4 is going to be the first key point that you have. Now the other one that we're going to do is the quarter point. We need the QP, quarter point, and that's period divided by 4 is the formula for that one for quarter point. In this case, it's going to be pi over 4. That's your quarter point. These two luckily have the same denominator, which makes that easier to add together. If the phase shift and quarter point have different denominators, then I would go ahead and get a common denominator and make them both the same before you add them, just to make that easier when you find the other key points. But you don't have to in this case. They're both coincidentally the same here. So phase shift is that's our first key point, and we're just going to keep adding pi over 4 to it. Okay, so I got so PS phase shift is pi over 4. That's going to be our first key point that we have. Now we're just going to keep adding the quarter point to it. Pi over 4 plus pi over 4. It's going to give you 2 pi over 4. We don't have to worry about reducing this because we just want to get make it easier to combine that together. So we just want to keep the denominator as a 4 there. Next one, 2 pi over 4 plus pi over 4 is going to give you 3 pi over 4. 3 pi over 4 plus pi over 4 is going to give you 4 pi over 4. And 4 pi over 4 plus pi over 4 gives you 5 pi over 4. Okay, so that's going to be this one, pi over 4, and then those are your 5 key points that we have here. Let's put them down on the graph. So first thing we have here is pi over 4, 2 pi over 4, 3 pi over 4, 4 pi over 4, 5 pi over 4. All right, so those are going to be your other key points. We also have our y-axis is going to be right there. Now, because this is a cotangent graph here, let's go ahead and put the amplitude on here. Label those 1/2 pi 1/2 and negative 1/2. Cosine graphs have to start at the amplitude where your phase shift is. So right here, I'm at pi over 4, and I need to start it at negative 1/2. So for cosine, you just look at whatever number comes first. That's going to tell you where you're going to start that. So I need to start the graph down here. At pi over 4, I'm going to have it at negative 1/2. Next, it's going to move to the x-axis. Then it's going to move up to the amplitude again, back down to the x-axis, and then it's going to go back down to here. So the graph itself is going to look like this. Okay, so it's flipped. The normal graph kind of looks like a U shape, but because you have a negative in front, that's the part that flips it over and makes it look like a bell. So that's why it does that. But if you just remember to start the graph at wherever this number is out front, if you start the graph at that number there, it'll ensure that the graph is going in the correct direction.